Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, June 9, 2023, well after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. It just so happens that after a few dozen trips around the sun, we come to a time in our lives when we start asking ourselves deeper questions. And a lot of people have asked these questions of themselves. What's the point of it all? I've heard that from a lot of people through the years. What's the point of it all? Why am I here? What great purpose do I serve, if any? Whenever we are deeply, eternally loved to reach this moment of our soul's deepest inquiry, it needs to be honored with the utmost patience and persistence. This is the golden carrot which leads us to dig further inside, so that we uncover the roots of why we are struggling and see how to alleviate any pain we are incurring. It is from returning to this self-inquiry that we discover the most sacred answers to this life, which truly satisfy every crack and crevice of our being. We're all here, and it's interesting enough that we are within these bodies, we are highly enlightened beings. But since we don't have memory of that, we continually pursue somehow discovering part of the part of who and what we are in these bodies, which is enlightenment. Now, we're not going to find it outside of ourselves. That's been tried thousands of times. And, this enlightenment is not some fairy tale experience. A lot of people believe that it is. Or something just meant for a few special sacred people. It is the highest peak of our consciousness and is available to all beings in every moment. It is a genuinely grounded spiritual experience which transforms all the sour lemons in our lives into the most succulent, sweet lemonade. The enlightened state is what lifts the veil, blinding us from the truth, allowing us to see just how magnificent we truly are. How many of us are open and available to every experience life gives us, knowing that each experience is always the right experience? For the enlightened being, there is no such thing as a wrong experience. This universe is the most intelligent teacher there is. And it never, ever makes a mistake. This universe is this grand weave of perpetual spiritual synchronicity and our karmic destiny. We are this timeless perfection of wild conscious creativity and action, always co-creating a synchro-destined harmonious play between mind, matter, and spirit. How could this omniscient perfection ever make a mistake or even entertain the idea of what a mistake might be like? Now, when you step back and look at our world from the highest, most heavenly space, it appears that we are this great symphony of souls all working together to reach higher states of consciousness. Of course, we are also these separate beings with unique minds, hearts, and individual lives. Yet this separating aspect is not the biggest truth. The greatest truth is that we are intimately connected with everything and everyone else in this entire universe. Now, when we surrender to this larger truth, weaving it throughout our day, the most tantalizing and enlightening moments just magically show up. We can feel the presence of something much larger than ourselves is guiding us to a more joyous state of being. We naturally become more sensually available to all the pleasure and joy we are here to experience in this deliciously exquisite existence. By being radically open, raw, naked, and deeply willing to receive whatever the divine existence is offering us in each moment, enlightenment must pour into us. It simply has no other choice. When we completely empty out our cup, the universe has to fill it. The result is a truly intimate connection with this divine intelligence and an abundance of the richest manifesting energy radiating from our core. By living each moment from this raw, open, vulnerable space, we can become unstoppable in everything and anything that we do. Whenever we are deeply surrendered to this life, life surrenders to us. We immediately feel this humble yet empowering connection with everything and everyone. There are no more feelings of lack, unworthiness, or separation with who we are. There is also no need to become someone powerful, superior, and special so that we cover up that unconscious, insecure self who feels inferior. We can allow our darker parts to be seen, felt, and heard. How many of us truly experience life in all possible ways? Good, bad, bittersweet, dark, light, summer, winter. Experience all the duality. Don't be afraid of experience, because the more experience you have, the more mature you become. Osho. There's people that choose to not really experience much at all except a routine of life where they live someplace, they do the same things every day, day in and day out, until they leave the body. They don't learn. They learn some new things always. We're always learning. But as far as experiencing, how can you experience anything when you do it over and over and over and over and over again for years and years and years and years? Allow the totality of your darkness and divinity to be revealed. As we start feeling into, exposing, honoring, and welcoming all our dark and bright parts, we spend less energy controlling, holding back, hiding, and trying to contain our wild brilliance. Within this relaxation, our full divine nature can spring forth and shower upon the world. We are free to be spontaneous, creative, fully self-confident, and can access our core life energy naturally. Naturally, we find ourselves resting and abiding in our spiritual essence, which does not judge or condemn anything or anyone, as it is the source of love itself. The most spiritually expansive, loving, healing, and magical experiences in this life instantly start manifesting when we take the risk to look within and be honest, vulnerable, and real with who we think we are. When we remove all our masks with everyone in our lives, drop all our perceived burdens, shed our protective layers, and become totally transparent with everyone in this world, then the supreme enlightened reality sneaks into us. This enlightened perception of life takes over our mind, creating an energetic merging with our ego and spiritual essence. And we feel this awesome, wholesome love for ourselves and others everywhere we go. To be fearless in unraveling and exposing our most enlightened and horrific selves, we must choose to be able to relax and truly be at okay with every good and bad idea that passes through our mind and emotions. We must choose to get stuck, to not get stuck on anything, and become like super slippery surface, so non-stick, which all thoughts slide off of. We cannot take anything that is revealed personally, as every idea and concept we have about who we are was handed down to us, programmed in our subconscious mind from our parents, brothers and sisters, teachers, society, and the many generations who were before them. Do not rely on the mind for liberation. You are the sum cause of the entire universe. Nisargadatta. How many of us rest and sit in silence and stillness of the mind? Or even take the time to do that. The cause of our enlightenment and what's blocking us from experiencing it is the same thing, the mind. When we transcend the mind, dropping any attachment we have to it, the brilliant light of our being can then shine through. And this brilliance is all we can see in every direction. Of course, a mind is essential to adventure into this great journey, into spiritual liberation. Yet, we first need to understand what the mind actually is, so that one day we can become free from it. We have to understand what the mind actually is, so that one day we can become free from it. Now, if and when you start to watch your mind, you'll notice it is always striving, judging, analyzing, and needing to achieve something. You may have lived your entire life so far completely wrapped up in the head, which is always focusing on thoughts, concepts, right and wrong opinions, judgments, and belief systems. This is the discovery to remaining unenlightened. As long as you're always up in the head thinking, with your brain running the show, and the rest of your heart, sex center, physical, sensual body is being ignored. Know that enlightenment is a full body experience. This means the whole body is engaged in experiencing this life. And not just the cover, or the over-analytical mind. To step back from the mind requires total awareness. Every enlightened experience begins by first taking one step back from the mind and resting into a state of pure awareness. This is why an enlightenment seeker meditates, not to control the mind, yet to transcend all thinking completely, calling forth the experience of total silence, stillness, and pure awareness inside. Stillness creates an automatic letting go of the constant control, domination, and neediness of the mind. It is something that takes 100% of your devotion and dedication, as the mind is deeply addicted to the outer search. It will spend lifetimes searching for fulfillment in the outer world, believing this is the purpose of life. It will continuously try to fill your time on this earth with new information, people, special goodies out there, never questioning reality or what your heart or your soul is really yearning for inside. This secret or discovery to this enlightened stillness of mind is learning how to be 100% surrendered to this life. This comes from giving more energy towards that natural trusting feeling in something bigger than you is running the entire show. The supreme God source and cosmic intelligence is very, very, very real and always connected with our love essence. We are not separate from this vast sea of bliss until we get caught in the mind and believe we are. We are not separate from this vast sea of bliss until we get caught in the mind and then believe we are. When we rest in total stillness of the mind, we instantly dissolve back into the sea of bliss and find freedom within it all. Lastly, be aware that the mind is very, very, very tricky and slippery. So use caution whenever you approach it. Don't trust the mind or buy into its stories, as it will confidently lead you down one sure path and then switch the next day into following a completely different direction. Trust the heart instead of the mind. The heart lives in love and abides in a connection of oneness with this universe. This is the easiest doorway to enter the experience of enlightenment. This sacred, very sacred. This is a highly fertile experience of openness, deep relaxation, pure receptivity. When this energy enters our body, it means we have stopped engaging in society's over-controlling, dominating masculine influence and started welcoming that feminine magnetic force that is inherent at the core of every atom in creation. This sacred feminine energy is wild, liberating. It is very magnetic. It is inside everything around us. It is very real, organic, and it shows up naturally when we stop pursuing the life that never fully satisfied us. As we turn inwards to find the divine feminine source, we merge with that ancient way of being which nurtures our very soul. We find this natural spiritual energy inside our being, and relaxing into this energy allows us to feel at one with the entire universe wherever we go. The enlightened state is absolute trust in what is here now, and it's never half-ass about it. This 100% level of trust creates an instant feeling of freedom from doubt, resistance, and fear. The mind stops controlling everything, and it gives up striving to attain a different experience than the one given to you now. When we live from a state of 100% trust, we start allowing this magical universe to unfold however it will. If you are only willing to release 99% control over your life, then ask yourself, what is this 1% still holding on to? Why would clinging to thoughts of fear, doubt, and needing more control be more important than your spiritual freedom? And sure, we could allow for a small percentage of our ego's free will to be there. Yet it's good to explore how this non-trusting ego trip is just some entertaining sideshow and not the real deal. To abide in 100% trust all day long requires a full let go of your beliefs, addictions, demands on yourself. And this world, it means that you stop avoiding your unlimited spiritual nature. Total trust is about you recognizing the divine soul you are and having the deepest devotion to your spiritual self. The secret is about embracing all the joy and pain you find inside. Life is meant to be a continuous trusting process. To master it, this great sacred feminine energy needs to be at our center. So we can sit back and allow the great cosmic wheel of life to take over. We'll find out we'll find out that it's steering our mind to see, feel, and know this is all divine perfection. All journeys are outward journeys. There is no inward journey. How can you turn inwards You are already there. There is no point in going. When going stops, journeying disappears. When desiring is no more clouding the mind, you are in. Feel the oneness between the spirit and the material world. Manifesting our material dream life and the road to enlightenment are two sides of the same coin. When we embrace our natural manifesting ability, we must choose also to open the doors to a greater spiritual depth inside, which is needed to balance everything out. We cannot be fully enlightened unless we are enjoying our connection with the vibrant, rich matrix of powerful manifesting energy that exists in quantum particles all around us and is what we refer to as the material world. We also cannot totally enjoy any physical riches and luxuries of the material world without being relaxed and surrendered to our divine spiritual energy at our core. These worlds are one world, two sides of the same coin, and they are interdependent with each other, feeding into the other. They cannot exist without each other. If we judge something in the material world as bad, we set up an energetic block inside us which stops our spiritual growth and vice versa. It is only through surrendering to the merging of our spiritual and material nature that we find the fastest path to freedom. And ironically, you will find the experience of spiritual surrender is one of the greatest manifesting secrets. That was ever invented, and causes our dreams and desires to manifest faster than the speed of light. Retire into solitude. Seat yourself on a clean spot in an erect posture with the head and neck in a straight line. Control all sense organs. Bow down in devotion to your teacher. Then enter the lotus of the heart and meditate there on the presence of Brahman, the pure, the infinite, the blissful. Kalvalya Upanishad. It is good to know that the road towards enlightenment is the highest spiritual path one can choose to follow through life. Not because self-realization is so challenging to discover and maintain, yet rather because it is also extremely easy and effortless. It is both effortless and ridiculously challenging. which is what makes it so enticing to explore. The mind is often too small of a container, as we know, to grasp this, and may become confused by this conundrum, which is why we haven't heard about that many enlightened beings in our Earth's history. The good news is that any one of us, can step into this empty of mind, spiritually awakened slate instantly at any moment, since the light of consciousness is our basic nature. Depending on your programming, it may require decades of searching and efforting to get the mind aside. When fully conscious, a pure consciousness, totally relaxed in your body and eternally expanding into your cosmic spiritual nature, it's truly the greatest cosmic joke of all that we are trying to attain our natural effulgent state of being. We already are that. So what could be easier and harder than that? Basically, it means we must make a tremendous effort to be 100% effortless. So on this great journey into enlightenment, you are going to get to pass a few essential tests. What's at stake here is your life's fulfillment on the deepest levels. So you will come across many unexpected curves in the road. Perhaps an enormous range of mountains to climb, a massive roadblock to keep or to leap over, and many succulent distractions that will stop you in your spiritual tracks. All these tests make the journey even more of a wild and crazy celebration. And this is when we are sitting on top of one of those peaks, or resting in the green, sunny, warm valley along the way. People don't appreciate things that are freely given as much as those things which they may feel are nearly impossible to attain. No feat that is going to push your boundaries, stretch your limits, and feels outrageous to even imagine is going to be easy to manifest. The amount of struggle, loss, and confusion along your journey is the very fuel that will eventually burn your ego away. So again, it is the universe which has invented the perfect spiritual setup. Just remember, this universe never makes mistakes. The journey which is pulling you deeper into this very moment of your life is revealing the real reason why you are here. If and when you look for your path into enlightenment in any place other than the now, you'll miss it. It is always hidden in the most sacred place that we are least likely to look for it. Let them throw their curses, if inside I am connected to what's true. My soul stays quiet and clear. Do you think God worries what people say? If a few ashes fall on a mirror, use them to polish it. Lala. No matter what happens to us in this life, remember this one sweet understanding. You are powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, truly extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love, creativity, and pleasure. And all this is, and more is available inside every one of us now. To access it, sit in a state of wonder. Be in awe of this understanding. Try it just for a few minutes and see what happens. You might discover some resistance, denial, or perhaps the realization that this amazing fact is already within you. It is good to know that each block you encounter in this life is your greatest catalyst to diving into a deeper experience of your most enlightened self. Every experience we have as human beings contains a doorway to this divine state. All that's needed is to look for the door, reach out for the golden handle, and walk on through. There is nothing as easy and fulfilling as entering this wonderful paradise that is within your very being. It's easiest to discover this warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you are alone, in nature, quiet, and looking within yourself for many hours. To arrive at this place means letting go of the hectic outer world. Put away the busy, overly productive to-do list and devote to spend some solid quality time with you. Whatever is stopping you from making time for yourself is blocking you from experiencing the most tremendous freedom, love, and joy. So my invitation for you is that you let go of your life emotionally, mentally, intentionally. Loosen your grip and relax into your true self. Here, you will find this powerful, beautiful, and extraordinary high vibrational being. And letting go is not easy at first, because when we are used to spending our lives living like a closed, tight fist, so when you practice losing the grip on you and try it for at least 1 hour every day, you might be pleasantly surprised how much you look forward to this time. Fact is that you are worth it. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what you see is seeing you. Maybe not always clearly, yet we can only see aspects of ourself. Our entire life is too huge, too amazing, and magnificent to digest in just one sitting. It's like you can look back at your day and remember most of what happened, yet try to look back on your entire life and even past lifetimes and digest everything in the same detailed manner. You are much bigger than the mind can conceive. When you come to the edge of all the light you know and are about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing one of two things will happen. There will be something solid to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. To begin feeling a fraction of just how amazing you truly are, Begin with letting go of any limiting beliefs that arise about yourself. If you think you're too nice, too old, too fat, too ugly, too poor, these are all old, boring stories and excuses. In truth, they are just tiny electrons passing through the brain, making you believe you're in some prison. Realize these are all just thoughts passing through your consciousness in each moment. You can choose to pay attention to the good ones or the bad ones. It's totally up to you. You can easily break free from any negative or limiting beliefs running around in your mind by surrendering to loving you. You can easily break free from any negative or limiting beliefs running around in your mind by surrendering to loving you. Trust in the feeling of love. Believe that love is the way. Notice how it feels to be a bit more gentle and kind with yourself. What does it feel like to accept all of your parts? Real love is deeply and eternal. It has no reason why it loves. It just constantly sends out gentle energy, working its magic and healing all parts of you every time. There's nothing more powerful and transformational than love, love, love. When you devote your day to loving you, be gentle with you, something very magical occurs. You start to feel the love that is already inside you now. Deep inside your soul is the infinite source of love. The energy of God, source, absolute consciousness. Whatever name you place on it, the energy is the same. It is creating your experience of reality in every millisecond of your life. And it is the most benevolent, brilliant, loving source there will ever be. Everyone on this planet is all on this sacred spiritual journey together. The life is for our enjoyment, transformation, spiritual growth, and eventually our enlightenment. We are here to enlighten the load from our past. To let go of all the heaviness we've been carrying for lifetime. Whatever has been burdening, blocking, or frustrating to us is not real. The very instant we clearly see what is real, then everything changes immediately. There is a great relief inside as we no longer have to fight or resist anything in life anymore. The war is over. We can see the truth, accept that which we believed was totally unacceptable about ourselves. It is then that our greatest joy and freedom begins to settle in. There's nothing you can do to make a wrong turn in this life. Everything is part of your destiny. On an infinite highway where everything is connected, all lanes eventually reach the same infinite destination. You cannot mess up your life. It is perfectly imperfect, just as it is. Contains all the bittersweet and sour elements needed to release your tight grip inside yourself. So relax deeply. Find out that you are a powerful, beautiful, and truly extraordinary being. On those days when you feel that you've made a wrong turn in your life, when you got in trouble for not yielding to the other, or where you had an unconscious moment and smashed into someone you love? If you may feel like everything is lost, maybe you were diving with one foot on the brake, the other foot on the gas, mainly looking backwards in the rearview mirror. The secret here is forgiveness. Let go of whatever mistakes you've made in your life. They are last year's movie. Just observe the judgments of these movies about yourself without participating in that judgment. Welcome the experience of whatever your great error was, and accept that it was a lesson teaching you something deeper about yourself and this life. By welcoming whatever judgments are showing up about yourself, the judgment-aholic inside gets to step down from its pedestal, and a hint of clarity rises. A glimmer of lightness finds its way into the deepest, darkest night of the soul. When you fully experience judgment, or whatever it has to say, without holding on to any story about it, this universe has to present itself to you with full clarity. So my invitation for you this week is this: do not resist any experience that life gives you. Welcome all the good and bad you see inside you. Give some extra special attention to that part of you that is powerful beyond measure, beautiful beyond words, and truly an extraordinary being who has access to unlimited love. Any resistance is futile. It just makes you contract from life and get even more emotionally knotted up inside. If you must resist an experience in this life, be conscious about it. Know that this is your choice. There is always another way to experience who you are. Try this for 1 week, and the relaxing, freeing feeling will move on in. Just trust the process. Let go. Surrender to what is deeper and already at peace on the inside. There is no beginning or ending in the journeyless journey to nowhere. You do not start from somewhere, and you do not end anywhere. You are where you are, and you continue from there. Bodhidharma. I join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Do not do your ordinary daily routine today. Instead, mix it up. Do something completely out of the blue. Jump into this extraordinary moment of your life. Now is where you discover that you are divine consciousness. Relax. Don't be anywhere special. Being nowhere is the greatest thing you can do to start being nowhere. Now here. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight, Friday, June 9, 2023, a little after 9 p.m. Eastern, to continue our reverse aging health call, and Saturday, June 10, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what you see here going on outside of you.